Welcome back, guys, to another edition of Dark Powerrr, covering everything that happens on Tuesdays, whether it's on AEW Dark, Impact Wrestling, or UWN on Primetime Live. And guys, we have some pretty decent episodes today, moving some storylines along, some new additions on Dark. We're going to get straight to it, and before we do that, we got to ask, as always, make sure you hit the like button, comment, share, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Now, like I said, we have some different moving pieces happening on all three of our episodes. Let's get straight to it, guys, with Dark. So today on Dark, we start off kind of hot with a six-man tag match with the Gun Club facing Bishop King, Joey Riley, and Sean Maluta. Now, after the match, Joey Riley was just chilling in the ring. I mean, he'd gotten taken out when they lost the match, but I was trying to figure out, why is he just, not getting out of the ring? And then it all makes sense, because he already lost the match, and now he just has to die, because Lance Archer comes out with Jake the Snake Roberts. Lance takes out Joey Riley again, and they cut a really good promo. I gotta say, these guys are killing it on these promos. We just need to see it translate into something meaningful. He came close in the TNT title tournament. He won the Casino Battle Royale, and then he came up short against Jon Moxley. It's just something's gotta happen for poor old Lance Archer, because they can cut amazing promos any day of the week, but if that doesn't translate into meaningful wins, audience is gonna stop caring. After this, we have Ricky Starks taking out Travis Titan. And I gotta say, this episode of Dark is very stitched together. During parts of this episode, randomly Anthony Ogogo is going to be on commentary again, and then later in the episode, randomly Ricky Starks is going to be on commentary. And they don't show Ricky coming over, and they'll kind of jump between matches where Anthony is there, he isn't, Ricky is there, he isn't. I think it just was a victim of circumstances. There was a tropical storm that was coming through. I'm originally from Florida, South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Miami area, so I knew a little bit about the overall storm that was happening. This is in Jacksonville where they're filming it, but storms travel, guys. So the storm actually does, or at least an outer band of the storm, at least, I think, hits during Dark itself. So just incredible things happening in this episode. Next, we have Joey Janela taking out Marco Stunt of the Jurassic Express, a nice AEW versus AEW match. Marco Stunt coming back off of an injury, Janela picking up a win here, showmanship afterwards, sportsmanship afterwards when Janela helps Marco Stunt up after the win. Now, what I like here is a debut of a segment. I don't know if this is going to be a segment that starts appearing on Dynamite, or it will still strictly be on Dark. But either way, I really enjoyed it. It was The Waiting Room with Dr. Britt Baker. They're kind of giving her own kind of talk show, similar to The Highlight Reel, Cutting Edge, Ms. TV, the list goes on and on, right? So she has her own talk show with its own set that's made to look like a dentist's office, and the segment really comes off pretty well. She has some good cracks on Eddie Kingston, as well as Cody for losing the TNT title, and then she invites the Hybrid 2 on as her guests, and the Hybrid 2 are on, and they cut a pretty good promo about how they are going to be going after SCU. This is something that's been brewing and building for some time on Dark. Let's see where they go with this, right? And I do like the fact that we are getting a variety now. We're starting to get a little bit more on Dark. This is something cool. I hope that The Waiting Room comes back. It doesn't need to be an every week thing, but an every other week thing I think would be pretty good. So after this, a member of SCU, Frankie Kazarian, takes on Griff Garrison, picks up the win here after Griff picked up his own first win last week. He is now trading that win in for a loss this week when he takes on Frankie Kazarian. A good story here being told about Garrison being the eager young guy versus Kaz, the veteran who has run the ropes for some time. Next, we have Penelope Ford versus Rayne Victoria, but with an H, Ron. It's R-A-H-N-E, Rayne Victoria. Don't know that much about her, but she seemed pretty good in the ring. Penelope, I think, could have put her away a lot faster, but she chose to drag the match out a bit. And that's kind of speaking to Penelope's just the heel character that she is. She knows she's good. She thinks she's good. She can back it up. Let's drag this out. Let's make it painful if she can. After this, Brandon Cutler. One win can change everything. This man is now on a 3-win streak. It is a streak after 3 wins for sure. He was wondering on BTE this week whether 2 wins is a streak. Well, he doesn't have to worry about that anymore because now he's got 3 when he takes out Ryzen. Not Terror Ryzen, but Ryzen. Next, we have Leila Hirsch picking up a big win over Tesha Price. Hirsch is bouncing back after some losses where she took a loss to Serena Deeb for the NWA Women's Championship, as well as Kushida for the AEW Women's Championship. And strong matches here. Leila Hirsch is, I don't know, so I really like the in-ring persona. I like the moveset. I think I would change the music. The music is kind of like a electro pop, synth pop kind of song to me, and it doesn't fit because she's coming out clearly looking like a female Rusev, like a female Drago. It's got that, the Russian kind of flag, the Layla, all that jazz to it, and it's just the music is a little jarring. And maybe that's just like the traditionalist in me, where I feel like it should be more pomp and circumstance of having that more Russian, Eastern European feel to it. Maybe that's just the traditionalist of it in me, but if you're going to wear that ring gear, you're going to wrestle that style, you're going to come across in that way, I think the whole package should tailor to fit that. But great in the ring, good match here. Next, we have what I thought was one of the matches of the night with Jurassic Express taking on TNT, the Sons of Devon Dudley. And good match here. Again, I thought it was one of the potential matches of the night. If you went with a later match in the evening, I would not be that upset with you if your decision. They tried to do the switcheroo here, which didn't really work, but kind of worked. But either way, Jurassic Express picking up the win over TNT. Good win for them, keeping them in the tag title hunt. Next, speaking of tag teams, we have our recently signed The Acclaim, Anthony Bowens and Max Caster taking on D3 and Angel Fashion. Angel Fashion can't get a win against these guys, man. Because yet with a different partner, he is going to fall to The Acclaimed yet again. Next, we have Alex Gracia, who I don't know that much about, but I'm slowly learning more about. She's been on Dark before, but she is up against Ivelisse of Ivelisse and Diamante, and doesn't pick up the win. Ivelisse picks that win up, and it's good to see them doing, something. I was talking about it last week. What are they doing with these 2 women, with Ivelisse and Diamante? What's happening? We can have matches on Dark, but there's got to be something more to this. There's got to be something that they're going to do, and hopefully we start to see more of those plans revealed to us as we move along. Next, speaking of Ivelisse, somebody who she had problems with during their match not too long ago, is Thunder Rosa. And here we have Thunder Rosa versus Lindsay Snow, the American Kaiju. Now, I gotta say, guys, this was a match that I was really looking forward to, and the American Kaiju did not disappoint. This was my first real time kind of seeing Lindsay Snow in action. I've heard a lot about her. I've read a lot about her, especially when I saw that she was going to be signed for this match. But I'd never really seen a match. So seeing her in action was really cool. And I gotta say, as good as this match is, it is not the best Lindsay Snow match that we are going to talk about tonight. And that's a tease for later today in this episode. After this, we have Pretty Peter Avalon, a skit backstage, well, not backstage, in the back seat of a rideshare and Uber with that same person who he is courting to be his manager. He gets thrown out of the car. Long story short, Pretty Peter Avalon still having some problems, especially now that he has lost the services of Leva Bates. Next, we have Big Swole picking up a win over Kylan King. Good match here, nothing crazy to write home about. Swole doing what Swole does, Kylan King doing what Kylan King does. It's supposed to be the co-main event of the night, but just splitting us up a split second before that main event, we have Darby Allen, our new TNT champion, coming out, and he comes to the ring, lays the title down, looks to the announce table where Ricky Starks is, and just says, "Come on." And Ricky Starks is coming down to the ring Brian Cage comes out to help Ricky attack Darby, and out of nowhere, Cody Rhodes shows up with a steel chair to even the odds. The great, as if we were channeling our inner Michael Cole, the great equalizer. And good job here to sell more of the tag team match that we're going to get on Dynamite. But hey, a good way to just keep storylines moving without necessarily having a match, right? Like, see, what they could have done was Ricky already had a match. They could have just had Darby have a match and then just talk about, oh, they're going to have a tag team, match tomorrow against each other, blah, blah, blah. But here they actually do have some kind of confrontation. And what's going to be great about this is when Dynamite airs, if they, part of any kind of promo package or video or anything like that, if they talk about or show what happened the night before on Dark, it is a potential way to drive more viewership to Dark, which is something we're always trying to figure out how to grow the audience. And one way to do that is to have stellar main events. And that is your other potential match of the night when Jack Evans takes on Christopher Daniels of SCU, and he beats Christopher Daniels. A real good match here. Frankie Kazarian is with Daniels. A little bit of shenanigans, as you can expect. The heels do cheat to win, but overall good match. The correct person is getting the win. Jack Evans gets the win over Christopher Daniels, and Christopher Daniels is a lifelong veteran of the ring, and a place where he really cut his teeth is Impact. And guys, the same way that one day Christopher Daniels left Impact, one day the Rascals left Impact, and that night was tonight. So let's get straight into our Impact coverage. Now, Impact had a pretty interesting episode today. A little bit of this and that. If you watched the Turning Point roundtable or Turning Point discussion that Sid and I are working on, that should be airing either, I think, before or after. Well, I mean, obviously it's before or after this, but we'll be airing shortly around the same time this comes out. You will see what happened at Turning Point, so we'll get straight into it. I was right on a lot of my predictions, wrong on a couple. I don't remember 100% all of the predictions. I think I had them written down somewhere, but I didn't have it on the computer because we just ran kind of through the matches and I was reading it. But anyway, one of the matches we had at Turning Point was Moose versus Willie Mack. And if you'll remember, that match ended with ref stoppage, but then because Moose refused to stop, the ref changed it to a disqualification and Willie Mack picked up the win. So here we're getting a Turning Point rematch. Here again, Moose picks up the win over Willie Mack by ref stoppage. Now here's what kind of confused me. When I was reading the preview on Axis's website, I remembered seeing that this match would be no disqualification. And I don't know, if you're going to have a no DQ match, then I don't know if you should be stopping a match and awarding a winner based off of ref stoppage. I don't know, something about that seemed kind of off. Additionally, the match itself did nothing to use something that would require no disqualification. So if you think about Willie Mack being physically overpowered by Moose, you would think he would try to use something, a chair, kendo stick, table, whatever the case may be, to try to even the odds. And he did not do anything like that. So part of me feels as though they forgot the fact that they put that this is no disqualification, or they said, or they decided not to do it, and then when they were making the preview, because these are all taped, when they were doing the preview on the website, somebody didn't know and still put up that this is going to be no disqualification. After this, we have some highlights from the Treehouse over the 2 years that the Rascals have been part of Impact. Some good moments, some funny moments. We'll be talking more about the Rascals leaving Impact later in the evening. But first, we have to get through more of our Impact, and that deals with Johnny Bravo, our shoe shop Bravo. We have the Deaners talking to... what's his face? I keep thinking Sherlock Holmes because that's what he's wearing. But Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer about what they found in Johnny Swinger's fanny pack. Next, we have Suicide going to take on somebody named Gio. And this match is getting ready to start. And I'm like, what is the hell is the point of this match? And then it makes sense because Eric Young and Joe Doring, who debuted at Turning Point, or re-debuted. He has been with Impact before, but re-debuted with Impact at Turning Point, come out and just lay waste to Suicide and to Gio. And Joe Doring is here. Joe Doring is here to cause pain and suffering. Next, we have a Deonna and Kimberly backstage segment where Deonna is putting over the fact that at Turning Point she defeated Su Yung. This was one of the predictions that I got wrong. I did not think that they would pull the trigger on putting the title back on Deonna so fast, but there seems to be a long-term storyline here, because while they are having this backstage segment, the lights flicker, and then in the mirror behind her, behind Deonna and Kimberly, there's a message from Su Yung. So despite the fact that there was a no DQ match last Saturday at Turning Point, it doesn't seem as though this feud was over at any stretch of the imagination. It seems as though it's only starting to heat up. Speaking of heating up, we have Heath and Rhino backstage, and Rhino is talking with Heath about getting himself healthy. Heath says, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Rhino is seeing something out of the corner of his eye, and he, steps outside of the room they're in and closes the door, and it's our EY and Joe Doring heating up. And he says, look, guys, I know what you're trying to do, but it's not going to work. And they beat him down. Heath opens the door and is just like, holy crap, what's going on? They go into the room, the door shuts, and we can only assume that they beat the crap out of Heath Slater as well. After this, we have Brian Myers taking on Crazy Steve and picking up the win. This match is coming out of Turning Point, where at Turning Point, Myers beat Swoggle, and then Crazy Steve came out to make the save with Swoggle as Myers was going to continue to hurt him. Next, we have our segment for Johnny Bravo, and here we have Swinger talking to Tommy Dreamer, and Tommy Dreamer says, bro, we got to talk about some interesting evidence, or some interesting testimony, shall we say, that has been proffered. And Swinger says, yeah, no, you can look at the fanny pack, and proceeds to pull out the gun. And Tommy Dreamer is just like, oh, man, this is not looking good. This is not looking good at all. And next week we are going to have Wrestlers Court return as they try to figure out what should be done with Johnny Bravo. You'd think it wouldn't be Wrestlers Court, but regular court. But I guess, hey, this is the weird and wacky world of professional wrestling. After this, we have Tennille Dashwood and Alicia Edwards teaming up in our first round match of the women's tag title, the Knockouts tag title tournament, Not women, they are Knockouts. The Knockouts tag title tournament, and they're taking on none other than Havoc and Nevaeh. And if you feel as though this isn't going to go well for Tennille Dashwood and Alicia Edwards, you are correct. Havoc and Nevaeh pick up a win here and advance in the tournament. This match is a lot about Alicia Edwards taking the brunt of the action, of the pain and action, while Tennille is more concerned with Caleb with a K and her Instagram. Next, we have backstage Jordan Grace on the phone with somebody giving us a tease that she has a mystery partner for the tournament, and she kind of gives a little bit of a tease about what it is or who this person is when she's saying that, when I heard you were retiring, I thought this wasn't going to work. Who knows who it could be? Obviously, my first thought goes to Gail Kim, but we'll see what happens. I don't know who else really it could be. I don't think there's been any woman who really stated that she was retiring. Maybe Jazz? I think Jazz stated she was. Jazz stated that she was retiring, I want to say. And if that is the case, October 5th, 2020, when she was on the Chris Van Vliet's show, she announced her retirement, citing the same health and personal issues that caused her to vacate the NWA Women's Championship many moons ago before Allison Kay won the vacant title. So maybe it is. It could very well be Jazz. We'll see. I would rather Gail Kim than Jazz, but we'll see what happens, simply because of Gail Kim's history with the company. She works backstage for Impact now. So anyway, next we have Hernandez taking on Fallah Bahh. Nothing crazy here. And there is a I mean, just kind of a... I don't know. So this match... It's more of just kind of a situation where I don't know why. I guess it's a TV filler match, right? Like, that's really the point of it. And all right, TV filler match. Arguably the reason why this is happening is because Hernandez wants his money from Fallah Bahh, and Fallah Bahh doesn't have the money anymore. And then we don't see a reason for Fallah Bahh to be kind of confused and upset about what's happening when he had his money stolen. Like, has he not realized that a week ago his money was stolen? So anyway, I don't know. Just all of this seemed a little weird. For a TV filler match, whatever. Next, we have Scott D'Amore backstage with Rohit Raju, and Rohit Raju is spouting off the mouth about how he's awesome, how he's this, how he's that. When he walks away, TJP walks up, and Scott D'Amore is talking about how it's really a shame that nobody named TJP can challenge for the X Division Championship while Rohit Raju is champion. If you kind of see where this is going, well, this is also the wacky world of wrestling that we live in. Clearly, they're going to do something, or they're at least teasing that they could do something involving TJP's name, either name change, maybe he takes the mask from Suicide and wrestles under the mask, beats Rohit, and then, unmasks and says, well, you got to give me the title because it's really me underneath this mask. Whatever the case may be, it's clearly long and drawn out, and they're kind of giving away on purpose that there might be some shenanigans involved by the face towards the heel. Coming out of the commercial break, there is another Scott D'Amore segment where he's backstage with the Good Brothers. Ethan Page comes up and says, I want a match for the Impact World title, not World title, the World Tag Team titles, and he says he'll face anybody of Good Brothers choosing in order to get the match. See, now this feels a little weird because he shouldn't have to, because his rematch clause should be there. He and Josh Alexander's rematch clause should be there after they lost the titles at Turning Point. After all, that was the whole fuss with Deonna Purrazzo getting her rematch against Su Yung. So why does he need to do this? I'll tell you why. It's simply so they can do a classic Good Brothers tease that they're going to have someone phenomenal show up to face Ethan Page in a phenomenal manner, and this phenomenal person will be a phenomenal wrestler who will phenomenally face Ethan Page in a phenomenal match on Impact. Obviously, AJ Styles is not showing up. I didn't like the line by Scott D'Amore where he said, "Dixie's heart's all aflutter." That was a great line. But obviously, it's not AJ Styles. It's going to be somebody. It's going to be like how they did Talking Shop Mania and Talking Shop before Bound for Glory, and they had a fake Ric Flair who was named something very similar to Ric Flair, and they're going to do something like that. Either way, it's time for our main event, and this was a match. I watched these kind of out of sync, the way I would normally watch them. And so there were a couple matches on UWN that I thought, wow, this could be the match of Tuesday night. And then I watched this Rascals Rich Swann match. It's really good. It is a perfect showcase and highlight of everything the Rascals have been, everything the Rascals stand for, everything that they have brought to the table as part of Impact for the past 2 years. It is athletic, it is hard-hitting, it has emotion, it tells an interesting story. They did a really good job with this match. At first, I remember last week when the match was announced, I was like, this just doesn't seem like, why is Rich going to team up with Trey to face Dez and Wentz? I think I may have even said it on Dark Powerrr last week. But now, looking back at it, I'm like, wow, I'm really glad that they did this match. You see a lot of what makes the Rascals who they are. I don't know, maybe there have been some rumors, but I don't think we really know yet where they're going to be going after this. They could be going to NXT. I don't know if they're all going as a unit. I don't know if it's just Trey. I don't know if it's just Dez. I don't know if it's just Wentz. It could be any combination of the three of them. I don't know if we're going to find out that one of them re-signed with Impact. I don't know what exactly the case may be, whether they're going to AEW, MLW, whether they're going to New Japan to be part of the New Japan US. Who knows? Well, all we can say in this moment is to thank them for what they did do for over 2 years at Impact. Now, whether they were misused, or let's not say misused, whether they were underutilized at Impact, as I feel our friend of the show, the promoter of Warrior Wrestling, name escapes me at the moment. Sorry, guys, it's 11 o'clock at night as I'm doing this, but his name escapes me, as he talked about one of the times that I was on True Heel Heat, the underutilization of the Rascals on Impact, whether they have been underutilized or not. Everything they were asked to do, they did very, very well. And kudos to them for doing that, regardless of the situation that they were in. So, amazing match. Definitely the match of Tuesday night. Check it out if you can. And after the match, they are backstage. They get attacked by Shammy, and Ken Shamrock is going to be facing Rich Swann next week in a match that I'm not really looking forward to. All right, guys. And now we turn to UWN Live, Primetime Live. And guys, we have a really good show here, really good episode, some great matches. Starting us off, Slice Boogie is taking on Keita Murray, and Slice Boogie picks up a nice win. Chris, I didn't know you had that in you with the Statue of Misery. Strong match, great way to kick off the show, I gotta say. Keita Murray, I don't know that much about this guy, but definitely made me want to learn more about him. He has a great look, great in-ring moveset. Awesome. After this, there's a promo from Ray Rosas. He is going to be facing Andy Brown for the Hollywood Heritage title in our main event. And you get some really, really strong promo work here. You kind of get a feel for what this match is, what this match means to Rosas, what this match is going to mean to Andy Brown. Looking forward to this. After this, we have Richie Slade, one half of Beef Candy, taking on a guy called Manders. Original name, I like it. I like the name. I don't know how it's kind of a name that restricts you to certain places, but hey, some people they're not looking for incredible fame and fortune in the world of wrestling. They're not looking to try to, main event WrestleMania. Some of them are happy being able to do what they do in front of people, in front of an audience, and there's nothing wrong with that. It may sound as though I'm saying that there's something wrong with that, but trust me, there is nothing wrong with that. Everybody has different dreams. Everybody has different goals. And this kid, well, at least this guy, because he's not a kid, but when he was a kid, he may have been dreaming back then of having an announcer say the one called Manders as he enters a wrestling ring. And who am I to tell him that that's wrong, right? Who are any of us to tell him that that's wrong? If he wants to go to, say, NXT and go through WWE or go to AEW or whatever the case may be, maybe there may need to be a name change. But if he's happy and content with what he has, then more power to him. And he has a great look. He has a great in-ring set, just the same way as Keita Murray. It's a different style. It's a hoss fight with him, and he does it very, very well. Now, after this, we have two kind of sad segments. The UWN Primetime Live Doctor states that he cannot in good conscience clear Chris Dickinson. So, next week we were supposed to have the finals where Miracle Mike Bennett would take on Chris Dickinson to determine the first UWN World Heavyweight Champion. That seems to be in jeopardy. And coming out of a commercial break, we have David Marquez doing a ringside interview where he says that instead of, just giving the title to Mike Bennett, they're going to wait and let Dickinson be cleared, and then we will have the match that we all deserve to see of Dickinson versus Bennett. I'm looking forward to that match, and whenever it does happen, I think it's going to be a banger. Now, synergy, guys, our favorite phrase, our favorite word of a phrase. Synergy is everywhere. And synergy is yet again everywhere when we have American Kaiju Lindsay Snow taking on Ruby Reyes. Now, guys, I already said this is the better of the two matches between Lindsay Snow and Ruby Reyes and Lindsay Snow and Thunder Rosa, and I find myself hard-pressed to say that because I am a Thunder Rosa fan. However, this match hits. It starts off slow. Ruby Reyes was not somebody who had super impressed me, but after this match, she definitely has. It starts off slow. It is definitely a ground and pound slog of a fight. These two want you to know that they do not like each other. There is something here. It's not just, hey, this is a signed match, let's have this match. No, there may be something more here, and I loved it. I loved a lot of this match. Maybe it could have gone a little bit faster, but good match. I like the fact that they both got in the ref's face. I like that the ref ends up doing a double DQ, no contest, because of their interference with him and his ability to control the match. Everything about it, it saved the match itself in the sense of we did not get a clear winner. We can have a rematch down the road. Everything about this was very well executed. Kudos to the two women, the referee, the commentators as well, and David Marquez and whoever is in charge of booking for UWN Primetime Live. Very well done. After this, I was thinking, wow, this is how it worked. I watched Dark, then I watched the UWN Primetime Live while I had Impact DVR'd. So I'm watching this Snow and Ruby match, and I'm like, wow, this feels like it could be match of the night. And then immediately after this, I go, wow, this could be match of the night, when Danny Limelight takes on Clark Connors of the New Japan Pro Dojo. Really good match here, really strong. Limelight picking up the win. Finally, he has to cheat to win. It kind of not cements a heel turn, but it highlights the fact that there's a change in the Limelight character, especially how he is, being portrayed on UWN. Good work by both of these two men. Connors came into this match 2-0 over Limelight, so that desperation of Limelight to get that win really sold everything that he did when it came to cheating to win with the help of the Bodega Brothers. After this, we have our main event, which, again, I was like, oh man, this could be match of the night. Ray Rosas defending the Heritage title against Andy Brown. This is a really great match, guys. I gotta say, if there are a couple matches that you're gonna check out from tonight's episode, if you're gonna go back and really watch them, I would say Jurassic Express versus TNT, Jack Evans versus Christopher Daniels, the Rascals and Rich Swann main event, and then the final three matches of UWN, because Snow Ruby, great. Limelight Connors, great. Ray Rosas, Andy Brown, amazing. Awesome match. Rosas having to dig deep to face Andy Brown. Andy Brown has been challenging him multiple times and is trying to finally put him away for the title. They go back and forth and back and forth. There is a weird moment. The only thing that kind of pulled me out of the moment was at one point Andy Brown tried to get a win by countout, and the title's not going to change hands on a countout. So this seemed like, I was just like, I don't know, but then I thought about it and I said, you know what? This is even better, because despite the fact that he could win the title, Andy Brown is more concerned with proving a point to Ray Rosas that Rosas can't even get up to continue fighting him. That's how good Andy Brown is. Because you can beat somebody by pinning them 1, 2, 3. But if you can force them to not be able to get up after a 10 count, to me, in a way, that's almost better of a win. Right? That's what's going through Andy Brown's head. And I like that they displayed that. In the moment, I was just like, wait a minute, this is dumb. Like, he can't get the title. And then I said, wait, it's more than the title to Andy Brown. It's proving a point to Ray Rosas. And then I was like, this adds something to the match. It adds something. And I thought that was very well done. So kudos to them as well. And guys, it has been another edition of Dark Powerrr. Thank you again for coming along this journey with me. Until next time, guys, wear a mask, cover your mouth when you sneeze, stay safe, and I'll catch you later.